No. If you can sit on that bench with your back against the wall. You okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're okay?
No.
Let me get this back a little more. Actually, we're gonna... That's fine, Dan.
Me around here. I've always had a kind of an uneasy feeling when I go into the back room back there to get supplies and that kind of thing. There's a particular spot back there that I've always kind of felt a pretty unpleasant feeling. There was a fellow that worked here in the past too that had said that he doesn't believe a thing in ghosts and that kind of thing until he started working in this building. He had the same kind of effect I had. When you go back in that back room, he felt like somebody was breathing down the back of his neck. And that's pretty much the way I can describe it. But there was another time I was standing here tending bar. There's a gentleman here drinking, and he kind of did a double take up onto this mezzanine up here, and I noticed it, and he didn't say anything for a minute, but a few seconds later he says, "What's the ghost factor in this building?" And I says, "Hi, why?" And he says, "I just saw one up there." So that happened. One day, one evening after hours, we were cleaning up in here, and there was a kid, a high school kid, washing dishes next door. There's two adjoining rooms here, and I was cleaning up in here, and the kid came running through that door, and he says, "How did you do that?" I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, what was that like?" I says, "I have no idea. What are you talking about?" And he said that he was in the kitchen back there, and there was this white light that came out and he chased it out the kitchen, and it came through the window of that door, and when it got in here, he couldn't find it, and he wondered what I had done to cause this light, and I had no idea what he was talking about. I just laughed and said, "It's the ghost, man." So
The only way to explain.
I've always believed in ghosts, you know, for whatever reason, whatever they're hanging around, I don't know, but most Buddhist texts and that kind of thing consider them to be people who are kind of stuck in a realm that it's a shame to be stuck in, apparently. I don't know the real facts of that, but at any rate, when I come back into working in here, when Chuck opened up these rooms again, my first night on the job, I was in the other room behind the bar, and the door clicked and opened and shut, and I said, "Come on in," and then a little later in the night, it happened again, and I said, "See you later," and I just thought it was probably my ghost still, you know, saying, "Welcome back to the building." I don't know. At any rate, that's about it. I mean, I've just always had a sense that that kind of stuff exists, and those things have happened in here. And I still, to this day, maybe it's ingrained in my head, I don't know, but when I get into that certain spot of that room back there, it doesn't feel good. It feels like there's a very angry male presence back there that it's pissed off about something. I don't know.
One last story you have.
Well, since you were talking to me about this, wanting to do this kind of thing and telling me what had happened with you guys, and I was standing in that doorway over there at one point, and I'm thinking to myself that, so, well, I've had all these experiences yet, I've never seen anything. Everybody's seen things, and I've never seen anything. So I'm thinking to myself, I've never seen anything. And this very loud thought, not a voice, but this thought says, "Do you wanna?" And I just jerked out of this position and said, "No," walked away. So, you know, that's all. Just, you know, it was a very definite, you know, "Do you want?"
Answer back.
Yeah, right. It's like, "No, thank you. Don't want to." So
All right.
that's why Alice is a little, you know, I'm a little nervous about even doing any of it. So.
We're going to show you the doors. There. Dan was standing actually right there. The lady is seen up here. I don't know that that's really good. Ready? So, we don't have a snap board, so that's what we do.
You gotta go like this.
Paint my fingers. So Lenny's going to describe an experience his daughter had in the spaghetti western for you right now after we had done an investigation.
Right, yeah, it was a couple weeks after we had gone through the place. I wanted to take my family out to dinner, the spaghetti western. And it was my wife, my 2 children, and my mother-in-law. And I decided that beforehand it would be best not to discuss anything about ghost hunting or paranormal or ghosts or anything spooky. The kids are ages 2 and 5, and it'd be best not to have any kind of commotion at dinner with, scary stuff. So I didn't say a word about what we had done or where we were going to dinner that was involved. So we get there and we have dinner. Halfway through the meal, the oldest child, she's 5, needed to go to the restroom. So her grandmother took her. Now the restrooms are located under the loft, and they are on the left-hand side. There's a curtain that comes across about halfway on the right-hand side of the loft. And behind that is another door that goes to the back of the establishment where there's storage and freezer locker, access to the basement. And so that's maybe why the curtain's there to, keep people from going back there or anything. But when you go back to the restrooms, there is a space behind the curtain that nobody else can see. And so my oldest goes to the restroom with her grandmother. They go inside and shut the door. Right when the door shuts, pretty much my 2-year-old decides that's when she wants to go as well. So she jumps up from her seat and runs back to the restroom to try and get in. And of course the door's locked, and so they can't. She can't get in. Before grandmother could get the door open, she turns around and looks behind this curtain where I can't see, and reacts as if there's something really frightening there. She's and jumps back up and runs back to the table with, shaking, something really scary back by that back door that we all couldn't see on the right hand side, and she said it was some kind of a ghost or something. And so I got up and went with her back to investigate, what did you see, where is it? And there was nothing there. We kind of peeked in the door, there was nobody there. And so it was kind of strange and unusual that she, saw something that wasn't really there right when we were doing these investigations. It was kind of, interesting.